Hi, this is Mrs. Hall, and today I'm going to show you how to start the graffiti art project. So the first thing you have to do is pick out what kind of name you want to do. So you can draw your first name, your last name, your middle name, your nickname, but it has to be school appropriate, or your initials. But the deal is, if you do your initials, it has to be at least 3 or more letters. So it would have to use the first letter of your first name, middle name, and last name if you choose to do initials. Okay, so I'm going to switch screens, and once you picked your name, I'm going to go ahead and have you start the project. So I chose on this one Hall, and I did this one several years ago before I started making some of the requirements on how to make it more creative and customize it. Last year, when I started doing this project, I started another one and I just haven't finished it yet. So this one was saying Kristen. I didn't finish outlining it here, but I added more custom ideas and designs and made it more creative. And that's what I want you to do also. I really want you, if you've done this project in the past, which some of you have done graffiti in the past, I want you to think about, okay, how could I make it more me and more reflective of who I am versus just plain graffiti? And that's going to be one of our major concepts. Okay, so you're going to need to do one of two things. It depends on if you're at home or you're at school. If you're at school, I want you to use a 12 by 18 sheet of paper. It's basically the big paper, okay? If you're at school. If you're at home, it's totally fine if you don't have that paper. You can use 2 sheets of copy paper. So you'll take the 2 sheets of copy paper, put them side by side as best as you can. You're going to take a little bit of Scotch tape. If you don't have Scotch tape, you can use another type of tape. Look in the desks in your house. Look at the garage. Sometimes there's painter's tape in the garage. Any kind of tape that you can find. Duct tape's a little extreme, but if that's all you got, that's all you got. Okay, we're going to tape it together, and then when you're ready to draw, you'll flip it over to the clean side, and you have an 11 by 17 sheet of paper. Okay, so now I'm ready to draw out my block letters, which is the first step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to kind of envision what name and how many letters that I want to do. So the more letters that you have, the smaller you're going to make it, like the shorter. The fewer letters you have, you're going to be able to make your letters longer or bigger. You also have to think about maybe if you want to do a design that's particular in the background, you might have to make your letters smaller too. So when I made my letters for Hall, I made them giant because Hall is only 4 letters. Remember, you have to have at least 3 letters, but Hall is only 4, so I could make them really big. When I did Kristen, which is my first name, I had to make the letters a little bit smaller so that they would fit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Kristen again. So I am going to take my ruler, and there's no particular measurement. I'm just trying to make a top line and a bottom line to put my letters in. When you do this, again, the closer it is together, the more letters you have. The further apart, the fewer letters you have. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a light line. Now I'm going to draw this a little darker so you can see it on the projector. This line for you should be super light because you're going to erase this, okay? This is just a very temporary line. Okay, and then I'm going to draw another guideline, and I can already hear people freaking out and saying, well, but how many inches apart am I supposed to make this? There's no rule. It depends on how many letters that you're going to do. All right, so I'm going to do Kristen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw this out normal. You can do capital, you can do lowercase. I don't care. I like to write in capital letters. So what's unique, though, is I'm going to do this lightly in case I have to erase because the letters might not fit. They might be squished. They might be off center. So lightly is going to be important. I'm going to start this, but I'm not going to start it at the very top. I'm going to leave a little space, and I'm going to stop before I get to the bottom, and I'm doing this on purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch Kristen. I'm going to leave a space in between my letters. And again, I'm not touching the top and the bottom line, and I'm doing that on purpose. So I, S, T, E. I have E-N in my name. Some people have I-N, some people have Y-N. Just depends. And then N. Now, if yours is off center, you may need to erase. This is why you have a pink pearl eraser or a extra eraser on the back of your pencil, or if this is all you have, go for it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn these letters into block letters. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to actually trace around each letter, and I'm not going to touch that center line. See, this is why I left space at the top and at the bottom. Now, there are some people that say, Ms. Hall, well, why do I have to do it this way? I know how to make block letters. I don't need you to go through and tell me, how to do it this way. Okay, that's fine. If you know how to make block letters, then you go for it. All right, so I'm going to do this for all of my letters. I'm not touching the middle line at all. And once I am finished, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to erase with my big eraser. I'm going to erase the middle line. So my original line that I did, and what is left over is going to be a block letter. Now, I have another handout on how to make block letters. If you are still confused, if you need it slower, let me show you what that looks like. How to draw block letters. So I give you how to do it here, how to go draw around your letters, and then how to erase the letter. So this is a great way if you're still confused to kind of review it. So once I go through and I erase all of my lines, I'm going to get rid of also this guideline at the top and the bottom. So I'll go through, and obviously I'm not done erasing. You can see that if I didn't draw my lines very light, when I erase it, it's not going to go away. It's just going to stay there. So when I say draw your lines lightly, I actually mean draw your lines lightly. So I'll go through, I'll erase all of the parts that are not supposed to be there. I'll erase the guidelines. And then when I'm done, I will move on to the next video, which is going to be the requirements of how you change the letters. If you have questions, let me know.